Hello, everyone, and
What
thank
up, dude?
you for joining myself. My name is Lindsay, and with me, as always, is Keith Cookie Cookus.
Hi, Linz.
How are you? Oh,
I'm
God.
good. I'm
Starting.
healing. My sick
Yes,
new.
right. The Flash.
Starting that next arm.
Yes.
That's been my excitement for the quarter.
Well, that is exciting. But I
We
have
got something else going on,
exciting
right?
for you. Yes.
What is it? Tell me.
This? Okay, so we have a guest. Our guest is a complete douchebag.
Oh,
Yeah, and one of my favorite homies in the paranormal.
you can see him laughing, can't you?
I can't see him. Like I can't see that stuff anymore.
Oh, I see him laughing down there. But he's also angry. He's gonna fuck you up when he gets in here.
Total douchebag. One of my favorite homies. He's an investigator. He owns the Villisca Axe Murder House. Makes up 1/4 of the G Crew, and tonight he's our bitch. Welcome, Johnny Hauser.
That was the best intro I think I've ever had. Period. That was awesome.
She
Thank you for being on the show,
very
man.
descriptive.
You know, like everybody's, he was on this show and he did this, and I'm just like, it's almost, I feel weird. It's like embarrassing almost. Like, look at me, everybody.
Look,
It's
here are
like,
his
this is-
accomplishments. Welcome him.
Yeah, it's just like,
Not she straight up called you a dickhole.
yeah. I love that. Was like the best intro I think I've ever had. I want to be introed. Like, we need to write this out word for word.
Okay.
It's written out.
If you need, I was going to say, if you need an intro to take with you, like if you get asked,
Mr. Hauser prefers
like,
this.
this is the intro that I get for every.
So I'm doing a thing with Tinny in October. It's just me and him. It's like just a lecture series. So I think I'm going to have to have the guy do that, intro me that way.
Have Tinny intro you like that.
He would do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Make it even more awkward.
That would be good. But I think
throw
I'm
some
just
extra
going
spice
to.
in that.
You and Tinny?
Yeah,
That's
it's at a historic theater in Benson, Nebraska, which is a very cool hipster kind of area, and it's very has a lot of history to it. But yeah, it's just a lecture series. There's no booths, there's no investigation. It's just listen to me, listen to him. And I think they're having drinks afterwards and stuff, and like a
cool.
meet and
That
greet
was
hangout.
actually
Fun. That would be a
That's
lot.
one of the things we talked about a lot with him was the lecturing in places that they don't get it very often.
Yeah,
So it's
and you know,
awesome.
I met Tinny way back in the day when he was on Paranormal State, the new class. Remember that show?
They had the new class?
The new class.
heard of
It
it.
lasted like 2 episodes. And so
I didn't
it
even
was,
know that happened. That's no.
Yeah, that was the people that own the rights to Paranormal State thought that would be a good idea. It wasn't. Tinny was the greatest part of the whole thing. I mean, Tinny, awesome. Everybody knows that. But they had a Paranormal State, the new class booth at Scarefest in Kentucky. And me and a para celeb, I won't name because I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Yeah.
We're like, what is this? Like, are you kidding me? And so we go up, and this guy was on a very, very popular show current at the time that this happened. And he walks up to him and he's like, you guys are ghost hunters? And they had no idea who he was. These kids didn't. And they're like, yeah. He's like, so you like really go into haunted places and look for ghosts? And they're like, yeah. And he goes, oh, snap. And like did that thing with where you snap your finger. And they were like buying into it, and he was totally making fun of them. And I didn't know Tinny wasn't there. So we go to the bar afterwards, and this guy walks up to me in a suit. And he goes, you know, that's called a Gabrialdi. I'm like, what? He goes, your beard. It's actually, the style is called a Gabrialdi.
Oh my God. What?
Okay. He goes, "You got a cigarette?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You want to smoke?" He's like, "Yep." So we go outside, and that was John Tenney. I honestly thought he was like a producer for Paranormal State, the new class, because it was like all these young college kids and then Tenney, you know.
And
Tenney,
yeah.
And he just didn't fit in with that.
Tenny's
group.
perpetually 45. Like, it's just
exactly.
Yeah.
And
he's
from
always
that
going to
moment,
be like,
Yep.
from that moment, like instantly, it's like, this dude is the Rod Serling of the paranormal. This guy needs to be the most famous paranormal person on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I got another
100% agree with you on that one.
I got the greatest John Tenney story ever. So this is we're filming a pilot for a show that Nick Groff was doing, and so we fly out to Ohio, and the premise of this show is myself, John Tenney, the Newkirks, and Aaron Sagers are all a team, and we investigate real life X-Files type stuff. And so we go to this hotel.
What?
And like we're getting ready to like call time is at 8, so I'm up at 6 o'clock. I walk outside the hotel. I see a crowd of people, just all senior citizens. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I kind of make my way through the crowd, and in the middle is John Tenney with a cup of coffee and a cigarette. And he's like, so really, when you think about it, 6 degrees of separation, every human on planet Earth is somehow related to you. Like going on this big thing. There's a bus waiting for the senior citizens. The bus driver's honking the horn, and the seniors are like, we don't want to go to the casino. We want to sit and listen to this guy. So it gets even better. We start filming.
Black coffee suit, cigarette outside a diner talking to old people.
Nailed it.
We're filming the idea of the rake, an internet legend. Can internet legends become real? Because in this section of Ohio, they called it Murder City. There were like 20 homicides in this little 4-block section. So we're going there, and they want me and Tinny to go in this legit crack house. So Tinny and I are like at the door, and there's a cop on scene, but the cop goes, if something happens, I can't legally go in there because you're not supposed to be in there. And I don't know how that even worked. I'm like, what? That seemed confusing to me. But the cop was a fan of Groff, so that's why he was kind of hanging out.
Oh, okay.
So me and Tinny walk into this place, and we kind of clear it for homeless people and stuff. There's no crackheads in there or anything. And we're walking around, and Heather Newkirk goes, "Stop, Tinny." And we look down right there, needles everywhere. And
I wondered if this was going to be that place.
So we go out. We're done filming our scene. We go out to the van. I'm like, Tinny, man, like heroin needles all over. And Tinny goes, I'm more worried about this. Lifts his foot up. One of his loafers is ripped. Like he ripped his loafer on something. And he goes, I'm pretty sure my big toe is going numb right now.
Oh my God.
Thought he got stuck by a needle.
Oh,
so then we go.
My Lord.
We break and we go to Cheesecake Factory, which is like
because that's obviously
away.
The next. I think I got stabbed with a rogue heroin needle. Cheesecake Factory.
I've actually heard this story from Tenny.
And I thought it was so weird, like crack houses, bad neighborhood, 2 blocks away, Cheesecake Factory, rich neighborhood.
Yes!
I'm like, what? So we're eating there, and Justin, Groff's cousin, goes, oh man, I'm so glad that I got sprayed with the stuff that the cop had. And Tinny and I are like, wait, what? He's like, you didn't get sprayed?
There was
sprayed with what? He goes, yeah, he sprayed all of us. He's like, they spray each other after they come out of there for bed bugs. And so instantly I'm like feeling myself itching.
Yeah.
Tinny just sets his coffee down. He goes, this is going to continue. No more heroin needles. 2, if somebody has bed bug spray, you let the cast know what's. And then Justin died laughing. He was just messing with him. But that's my favorite Tinny story.
Oh my God,
that's hilarious.
I'm still falling back on like, oh well, there's a lot of heroin needles, and I think I got hit with one. So let's go to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah,
like that to me is the biggest part.
And I'm wearing Chucks and like
right, yeah.
I have a picture of Greg and Dana Newkirk sitting next to the crack house, but they're not sitting, they're just like squatting because nobody wanted to sit down.
Covering no contact.
I'm ready to go back to Iowa where I don't have to worry about heroin needles on the ground.
Like, yeah, no kidding.
Much.
Oh, and the Newkirks are so great too.
Yeah.
They're a lot.
I was really hoping that show would have went.
See, when you said that,
it sounds like
that's like a show I want.
Right? Like you just said all these names and what it was, and it's like, how did this not?
And I'm like, dude, I get to look at real life X-File cases with John Tinney and the Newkirks, and I'm just like, it didn't happen. I'm like, of course it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well,
that would have been a good one, though.
We got 2 episodes of Paranormal State, the new class.
Jesus.
Oh man. I got to know some of the kids on there, and I mean, they were cool. You know, they were nice kids and stuff. But it's just, I don't know that they were even really that into it. I think it's just really cool to be on a show, you know, because I don't think any opportunity investigating.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you something though, just because I'm not as familiar with the whole story as some people may be, but with the Villisca house, like, what got you pulled into that? Like, how'd you end up with that gig, and like, what's it like?
It's just by chance that I ended up with that gig, and now that I look back, it's almost like puzzle pieces being put together that led me here. Because I was a musician out of Nashville for 10 years, like working, you know, like steady, like actual job. And then I kind of got tired. I was kind of to the point where it's like, man, if my drummer slurps his pop one more time, I'm just going to nosedive out of this vehicle. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. Like,
every little thing.
Too much
when
time.
You're together that much,
Yeah. So I ended up meeting my future ex-wife in Des Moines, and
we're all divorced over here, whatever.
We got married. She got pregnant. She wanted to move to where her family was. All my family lived down south, and her family's from Villisca. So I was kind of like, oh, there's the axe murder houses there. So day one, I walked down and I asked Darwin questions because I love history. I love true crime.
Right.
And by like 3 days into it, he's like, do you just want a job? You're here every day. I might as well pay you to do something. And I'm like, yes. And I just did it for like the keys to the place. I didn't care.
Right.
Yeah. Like $50 a week or something. That's like, keep your money. And then I just wanted the keys to the place so I could go in anytime I wanted. And then pretty soon, here come the TV shows.
Yes.
And the very first one was Chad Kalick filming An American Ghost Hunter. And in fact, I got a MySpace message from Ryan Buell. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is Ryan Buell.
Know, MySpace.
And it's like, hey, my buddy Chad's in Iowa. We're filming a documentary. We'd love to come to the Axe House. Can we come by Thursday? And it was like Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Come by.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there. And I live right next to the Axe House, in the lady's house that found them that morning. And I look out my window and I see a really skinny guy wearing a vest, buttoned up, and a nice shirt and jeans. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Ryan Buell right outside on my sidewalk. So went out there. And that's when I met Kalick. And I gave Kalick, I was talking about a musician. He used to be a musician, 35-inch Mutter, which I used to go watch. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice.
So I was like, here's my band CD. And he's told me several times that when they were done filming, they were driving back to Omaha, and he goes, oh, let's listen to this shitty fucking CD that guaranteed sucks. And he put it in and loved it. And like he ended up covering Long Time Coming, one of our songs on YouTube.
That's awesome.
He did like an acoustic version. So then we become friends from that, and then he kind of drugged me into a lot of stuff. And then I met Ghost Adventure guys, and Nick and I clicked, and Nick drugged me into a bunch of stuff. So it's just like I tried really hard with music, and we had marginal success. I didn't try at all with ghost hunting, and had huge success. So it's like, okay, you know. And so the Axe House took off.
I just real quick observation. There are so many of us, like the story you just told. We had some decent success. We're musicians. Like, I'm in the same boat, and I'm doing this, and you know, you and Chad, like Taddy, like everybody, for the most part that we've run into has that. Like, music was my passion. I fell into this.
Yeah,
it's just it's a weird coincidence.
And like a lot of camera guys that work on all the shows are failed musicians. You know, so
really,
I'd say 90. Well, I mean, like the Paranormal Lockdown theme song, Safi did that. The camera guy, like,
really,
he's a musician. Yeah, he wrote and recorded and sang that whole thing.
That's awesome.
So, and I maybe it's just we are creative people, and we have to create something, you know. And I don't know. But yeah, it just turned into all these opportunities. And I really think it's because anytime a show's filming, I would just be like, why are you guys sitting out here sweating? Go sit in my house, watch TV, grab a beer. And I never talked to them about ghost stuff at all.
Right. Yeah.
And I know, like, Ghost Lab, I told them the same thing. I walk into my house, there's 30 people crammed in my house. They had a huge crew. Brad and Barry Kling's sitting on my couch, and both of them took up my entire couch, and they looked at me like, who are you? And I'm looking at them like, who are you? Like, this is my house.
Yeah, you're like, I own this place.
Yeah, and they're like, oh. And they were very standoffish, and finally they opened up. They're like, yeah, the last place we were at, some old lady yelled at us about a cord touching her flowers, and they had the African-American guy on their team. He got threatened in West Virginia not to be seen after sundown, and it was just a nightmare for them.
God.
Yeah, and this was like not even 10 years ago.
You know? No, it's, I mean,
yeah.
I live in Arkansas.
All my family live in Arkansas.
Really? What area?
Mammoth Spring, Harrison, Rogers.
Okay. Yep. I'm in Fayetteville. So I'm just
okay. Didn't Thomas Robb live in Harrison, like the Grand Dragon,
Grand Wizard? Yep.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, Linz. That's what we were. Have we not talked about this before?
I don't think so. Now that I remember,
it's like Harrison, Arkansas is like essentially the Vatican for
it's
the
basically Klan. KK, the capital of the KKK.
I mean, White Pride Radio.
Yeah,
plays there.
And they have a big billboard on the side of the highway. Loving your race is not racist. White Pride Radio billboard on the highway. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
That is an hour and 15 minutes just east of me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I roll my sleeves up so I blend in here, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Bald, bearded white guy with tattoos. Everyone's always. Are you? No. No.
No.
Look, this is a genetic thing, and I like tattoos, man. Calm down.
My mom just said, like a month ago, she said they went out to eat, and they're at the Little Duffer, I think it was, and there was like a Muslim couple in there, and like they had the full Muslim garb on and stuff, and they said they were waiting in line, and some guy walks in, eyes them up and down, and just walked right in front of them in line. And I was just like, wow. She's like, yeah, that was
just like completely dismisses their existence.
She like looked at them. Yeah.
Basically. Wow.
And thank God for mom. I mean, we grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. And one of my earliest memories is swimming in a swimming pool and everybody's getting out. And I thought it was like break time. And I was probably 9 or 10. Well,
Yeah.
black family got in the pool, so everybody got out. And then mom looked at us kids. She's like, "We're not getting out. You sit in here and swim with them." And it's like looking back. So, my mom saying that in the early '80s in Charleston, South Carolina, was like bold as shit. It's like, "Go, mom!" Like that was. That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, yeah.
Ever expanding infinite cosmos. If we are it, how special does that make us, and how bad are we just screwing it up? Just love each other. Easy.
Yeah.
Takes effort to hate.
It's a lot harder to hate, man. It's so much harder to hate. And think about, I mean, just the way that how many times have you gotten in an argument with someone and spent all your energy for 2 hours after that, like replaying it? And man, I wish I'd said this shit. That would have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have like that fantasy fight that continues, as opposed to just like being the bigger person and walking away. You'll be angry about it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Be done.
Yeah.
It's just, we harbor it, man.
Have a 10-minute fight and let it bother you the next 24 hours or 2 days.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Spicy food doesn't do that.
Thanks.
We're getting some good stuff. We're solving a lot of the world's problems tonight.
You should have been here when I solved time travel, dude.
Oh, that was a trippy night.
That was a very special evening.
That was a special evening.
So, I've thought about this.
Don't you fucking do it, Hauser.
Everybody talks about the good old days. The good old, the good old days. Every generation has the good old days. What we're living in right now is somebody's good old days sometime.
Oh my God.
You know, were the good old days that good? Because I can remember things from the past, and my friend remembers it completely different, and we were sitting right next to each other. Like, I really think, the good old days is when we were kids.
Everyone was kids.
Kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you were a kid, yeah.
And if
we don't have any higher concept of the bigger issues you deal with as an adult.
Yeah.
And I think it would be sad, sometimes it just should stay memories, because if we went back to revisit them, it probably wouldn't be as good as we remember it. It's like dating somebody you're already with and expecting it to be just, So I think if I went back and visited my childhood, I'd probably be depressed, because it's like, man, this is kind of boring.
Yeah, what would that do to you? I mean, seriously, if you went back on some of the best memories of your life, some of the happiest times of your life when you were like 8, 9, 10, and went back in with your middle-age ass mindset and relived it.
Yeah.
Like, you would be so much more aware of all the bad shit that's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it would just tarnish that. How would you come back after that? Your childhood was just taken from you in an instant.
And you'd be so jaded towards life and everybody in the planet. Like, everything sucks. I hate everything.
Like, there is no hope, because it's been shit my whole life. I just realized it.
Yeah. And just like relationships, we just remember the good parts. We don't remember the shit parts. And I think our pasts are the same. And perception is so weird, because like,
perception is very weird.
I was talking to my buddy. He's like, remember when we were at this party and this girl did this? And he's like, no. I was like, this happened. I was like, you were sitting right next to me. He's like, I remember it happening. So if both of us were there and we both remember different things, the past doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
We both
I think about that all the time. Like how we all have our own reality. We are all in our own reality. We experience everything from our own point of view.
Got it. Like, what do you like more, your dream coma life or your real life? Like, that would just be, or if I woke up and I was married.
I think we're all on the same page with that one, brother. I promise you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's a reason I've got more animals than I've ever had in my life. And I gained a lot of weight after the divorce, and it's like, okay, I can still tie my shoes.
Yep, that's all that matters.
Oh.
So, just do the
cut my toenails and tie my shoes. Yep.
As long as you got your homies and your fur babies, it's all good.
Look, I have to hold my breath, but it gets done.
Kind of feel like you might pass out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I see stars.
You find creative ways to.
I
Sometimes I'll just put my
stairs and I'm like,
I'm really big on sliders now.
What?
I was like a huge fitness
Shoes
nerd,
and
then,
Yeah.
oh yeah, or Crocs.
Yeah.
Go for some. Not rocking if you're not.
That's
crocking.
right. Johnny loves Crocs. I fucking forgot.
Are you a Crocs guy?
Yes.
I bought a pair of Crocs. I saw them at dollar store, and they had a $40 price tag on a pair of Crocs at the dollar store.
Like actual Crocs?
No, rip-off brand. And then it was scratched off, and it was $1. It's like, just buy these because it's going to be hilarious. And the main reason I bought them was to adorn my daughter. Like, ooh, look at my Crocs.
Yeah,
and
I thought they were a joke at first.
And I love them. Like, it started with just wearing them inside. Then it's like, oh, I'll just wear them to the gas station real quick and they'll be there. And now I'm just like, I love wearing these. They're comfortable. Just slip your feet in.
Just wear them everywhere.
You got the little strap if you need to go from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive. You can adjust. And Crocs.
The new class.
I've never thought of Crocs that way before.
And they even have little Croc gyms where you can bling out your Crocs.
I've seen those where you can put them in the little vent holes.
Yes. Oh my God.
Fuck's sake.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Johnny, in 2014, you had quite an interesting situation when a guest at the house actually stabbed themselves. Can you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, so second overnight this person did. We get a lot of return people. I remember he had a hunting knife, like a big Rambo knife, strapped to his leg.
Like one of those 8-inch, like serrated one side type
things. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Crocodile Dundee crap.
Yeah, and so he's like, oh, back again. And he's like, I'm going to give the house a piece of my mind tonight. I'm like, okay. See you later. Buddy. So I just come home and I wake up and I'm tagged in a million things on Facebook. Man stabs himself at axe murder house. And I'm just like, man, it sucks to be Lizzie Borden's place right now. And I read one and it says Villisca. And I'm like, what? So I walk 10 feet over to the house. Everything's locked up. I call up Martha, the owner. I'm like, can I go in? Is this like a crime scene or what? She's like, what? She calls them up. They said, yeah.
Neither one of you knew?
No. And she called up the sheriff department and cussed them out. I'm like, Martha, if I would have called up the sheriff department and cussed them out, I would have been in jail. But you can do it and just get away. So they said, yeah, it happened. He was life flighted to Creighton and Omaha. They said he's going to be fine. They're saying nothing. They want it all to go away. And I didn't know for 7-8 years, something like that, what happened. Till Kindred Spirits is filming, and I walk in the barn. He's sitting there. I'm like, what are you doing here? They brought him back down. And so I sat and talked to him for a long time. I was like, one, why'd you bring... And the dude's as normal as can be. Just like having a conversation with you guys. I was like, why'd you bring a knife? And he said he concealed carries, but he didn't quite know the laws from state to state. So being in a axe murder house in a weird town, he didn't know the locals. He just wanted something to protect, just in case, which I get. Said he was downstairs in the kids' room provoking. Saw a light come out of the closet and woke up in the emergency room. But he took this knife, which was probably about yay big, and went right in the chest.
Center of his chest?
Right in the center of his...
And he almost died.
He could have stabbed himself right in the middle of his freaking heart. What the hell?
So I walked in the house with him. I was like, you want to go in? He's like, no. He's like, well, let's just walk in together. First thing, and he's probably late 50s. He walks in. The first thing he did was apologize to the house. And he started tearing up. And right then we were hit with a static. I don't even know what to describe it as. It's like hitting a brick wall. And I was just like, Ooh, like I almost quit over that deal. It was just like too much, you know.
Dude.
And then
So he'd started
Martha-
some shit apparently.
Yeah.
Like, trying to like make something happen.
And you know, when he said something about seeing a light in the closet, I was like, yeah, right, whatever. I've been here 20 years. I've investigated over 700 overnights alone in that place. I've never seen a light in the closet.
Mhm.
And so a couple years goes by, and he never told a TV show that. That was just me and him talking. A couple years goes by. I have some kids from Maryland, and they were doing a YouTube show, and they just wanted to come in cold. Like, didn't want to know anything. I was like, here's the keys. Bye. You know, that was easy.
Mhm.
And so they left, and they came back the next day. And
Hey, Bubby.
he's like, nope. Watch that cord. So they came back the next day.
The one guy looks like he might eat me.
Huggy Wuggy. So the kids came back the next day, and they said that they were on that bed downstairs provoking at 1 a.m, and they decided to leave when they said they saw a light in the closet. And I'm like, wait, what? So like these guys just backed up what this guy said, and nobody even knows this guy said this but me.
Right.
Like, okay, so this just validates that.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst part was Martha goes, right when it happened, she's like, can you go in there and clean up? I'm like, what? Like,
Clean
are there
up.
people that do that? So it was me with a bottle of bleach and a dish towel, like pouring bleach on the floor and sopping up the blood. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Dude.
Does he not know? I mean, does he know? Did he ever explain what made him?
He has no idea.
Like doesn't remember it happening.
He doesn't remember any of it.
He said he's provoking, saw a light in the closet, woke up in the emergency room. But
wow.
He did it downstairs.
His parents were there, weren't they?
They were out in the barn, like just
Okay.
kind of hanging out out there. He was doing like a solo session. So I go upstairs, and I see a handprint on the wall, a bloody handprint smearing going all the way up the wall. So the dude stabbed himself in the chest downstairs, proceeds to get up and walk upstairs and do who knows what up there, and then come all the way back down. And I'll never in a million years say a ghost stabbed him. Let's get real, you know?
Yeah.
But I do know that place has a very Amityville mental manipulation thing happening with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've felt it in there before. I just know when to get out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell every overnight, it's like, if somebody gets weird, just go get a candy bar, man. Take a break.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You
don't have to go balls to the wall, 120,000%.
Yeah. Like let's not.
And stay there the night after you do all that shit.
It's crazy.
Like at least be able to get away.
Martha almost closed it, and she's like, she was crying in the office. She's like, "This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be neat."
Yeah.
For you, you know? I go, Martha, you close it. People are going to say, "Oh, it's so haunted, they had to close," and then people are going to be breaking in. Pretty soon, it's a crack house. Like, just keep going. Mm-hmm. People forget quickly, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
I'd never heard about that until I was just
I didn't know about that either.
Digging around in some stuff before we met up today, and I was like, there's something to this, man. For this dude to have gone in and not remembered it, and then just woke, like to have done something that it's not a cut in your arm like people do when they're teenagers, distraught. This is
like something tried to get him to murder himself.
Yeah.
Like something was influencing him to murder himself.
Have you seen 1408?
Yes.
It's given me that kind of vibe, which is Amityville like next level, but still there's
and there's okay, I don't tell this story a whole lot. So way back when I was maybe 10 years into working at the place, me and a bunch of buddies decided, let's reenact the murders. And it wasn't to like, the only reason, well, I went in beforehand. I'm like, kids, if you're even here, more family, if you're here, this is what we're going to do, and this is why we're doing it. Don't be scared. You know,
Right.
I wanted to push the house to its breaking point to get a name, something. And so we have, for some reason, I'm the axe guy. I go into the attic by myself. Nobody's in the house. I sit in there. Pretty soon I have 8 people come in the house. And they're like, oh, kids, that was a great service. And got to go to bed. We got early morning, you know. And I'm just hiding in the attic. And I'm starting to hear whispering. But I'm just ignoring it because I don't want to hear it. You know, I'm like, I'm not hearing this. I'm not hearing this. Everybody gets in bed. I creep out of the attic with an axe. And it's about 2, 3 in the morning. And I'm above my buddies at the parents' room and kind of giggly. It's weird and awkward. And I just hit the axe on the floor. They scream. So I hit the axe on the floor. They scream. I'm like, man, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Go to the kids' room. Whole vibe changes. Bad. Like, it's a horrible feeling. And I'm like, man, we shouldn't.
Just energy shift, like big.
Yeah. And I was like, we can't do this, you know. And I thought, well, just finish it and we'll never do it again. So I go to the beds upstairs. Boom, boom, boom. Meanwhile, and we have cameras, audio, everything throughout the house. Every room. Yeah. The 2 downstairs in Ina and Lena's room, one of them thinks I'm actually killing people. And the dude starts bawling, like freaking out. And he gets up and he runs out of the house. And the other guy in there gets up and he's just like, what is he doing? And kind of reluctantly goes after him. I had no idea any of this was even happening. As I'm walking from the kids' room to the staircase to go downstairs, I'm starting to feel like I'm like half drunk, like half out of it, you know. I snap out of it and I'm standing downstairs in front of the kids' room downstairs, Ina and Lena's room. And I thought I heard a whisper. And I'm just like, guys, I'm done. Like, this is so stupid. I'm done doing this. Like, I'm calling it.
Yeah.
So watching the video, as I'm walking from the kids' room to the staircase, the kids' room closet door opens and shuts. The attic door shuts. The main door of the house slams open. Shows me walk downstairs. I walk into the parlor room, and I kind of
all at the same time.
Yeah, I drop the axe on the floor, and I'm just standing there for like 2 minutes. And then pretty soon I look up at one of the IR lights we have with cameras, and I squint at it. What am I squinting at? Humans don't see infrared. But I look up at it and I go like that. I stand there and pretty soon I rub my face and I kind of snap out of it. And I go to the door where I thought I heard the whisper. 2 audio recorders, 2 different ones caught the whisper, and it goes, do it. Like, do it. And that was some Amityville, like, when I seen that, I just wanted
like that type of like, do it, like deep.
Yeah.
Like
do it.
Guttural. Oh.
Negative influence trying. Yeah.
And the IR light thing. Fuck.
Yeah. That's
like the coming down the stairs and me standing in the parlor. Ooh. I have 0 recollection of. And that made me want to like curl up in the fetal position in the shower. I'm like, dirty, you're a dirty boy. Right? You know,
it's like
I never control, dude.
That was it for me.
You see yourself standing there, just like frozen, like that. Actually, that was a detail my friend had. A friend of mine, the only one that I know of, at least, that's ever experienced possession and stuff. She, the place she was working at the time when this was all happening, they had cameras, and that's actually how she found out that this stuff was going on, because she didn't know, and her boss was just called her in and showed her the footage and was like, what the hell is this kind of thing? And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, what the hell is this? I don't remember doing that. That's not, like, it looks like me, but she was just, you know, I can't imagine.
No, dude, that's some shit that would break me.
Yeah,
Like, I
you're
would
not
be
in
done.
control. Like something took
Yeah.
control of your body. Like
I can
that's why
experience things like, from my own point of view, but that's and I've been
that's a different
touched,
level of violation.
That's too
that's
much.
still a different level.
That's
fuck.
I won't investigate the house hardly anymore just because of that. Like I went in there and I'm just like, guys, I got to work here. Leave me alone. I'm going to leave you alone. We got to have some boundaries. And then I go, you guys need me here because I bring you sacrifices every night. Totally Norman. I said that, but it's like it's the old days, and I kind of feel like the house and I, this is so weird. I feel like the house and I have an understanding. I need it.
I was just thinking
they need me. Like we need each other.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm safe and I know what that house can do. I respect it. I'll go in there sometimes and do EVP sessions for fun with somebody, but as far as doing anything like that, never again. No. I'll go.
Yeah, that one.
I wouldn't either.
That would be more than enough for me to just hang my boots up, man.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
Dude, I went to church 3 times a week for a while. Like I was just I need some spiritual happiness here,
Oh my god, yeah.
Did you feel a temperature shift, like a body temperature shift when you remember being down there?
Nah, not really.
No,
I really don't remember it. I just remember
much of anything other than just being fucking in shock.
Like the vibe, the whole vibe was just a really gross, vile, like disgusting, filthy vibe. Just like
film all over dirty. You type of grime.
Yeah, just like it felt gross.
And that's the stuff that like is evil. Is the stuff that's just like ugh, that feels
bleh. Yeah, just like it's how the only way you can describe it is bleh,
bleh. Yeah, like puke.
But then I mean there's sometimes I'll check in overnights, and if somebody's a big jerk, I'll be like, I gotta go run upstairs, make sure the air is working, and I'll go up there and like, nail these guys. Which is super weird of me, but
no, it's not.
No, it's not.
I would do the same shit.
Same.
Working with the general public, man. Especially when there's that, they have that customer is always right privileged mentality. Like you're not a human because I paid $38 for something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. If my old jobs were haunted, I'd be doing that same shit. Like,
and what
are you doing?
I'm my own boss, and I can tell somebody to fuck off, and I don't care. Like, if somebody's coming in, like I had a guy come in dressed as a clown, and right off the bat, I'm like, yeah, boy. Oh, and he walks in, he's like, "Where's all the blood? I want to see blood. This is stupid." And I just tore into this dude. I was like, 6 little kids were murdered here. It's not cool. Do you think this is funny? I go, you go to outfits and crack jokes. Like, who the fuck are you? I want to talk to your boss. It's like, you're fucking looking at him, dude. Go get your $10 and get the hell out of here. I don't care.
Yep. Oh man.
Put a complaint in. I'm going to be the one that reads it and goes, like whatever.
Yep. Oh my lord. Jeez.
Does stuff ever like pop up in the house, like where you're staying?
In
like,
my house?
Do you ever have like stuff that is coming over from there?
There for a long time we did, until the ex left. And I think that negativity.
Oh.
I think it was. I think it was like a protecting of me type thing. And then when she was gone, it's peaceful now. My house is full of creepy dolls and dirt from murder sites and all kinds of weird stuff in my house. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things Lindsay and I have talked about, it's like it's different when you know kind of what's happening. if you're having stuff go on where you live. Like, I live over my backyard fence is a huge cemetery. And, you know, they're usually pretty peaceful places. But we talked about this last week. This is the only place I've ever lived where daily I will hear people, you know, if you hear someone talking in the distance and you can tell it's 2 or 3 people, but not enough to make out what they're saying. Like, just that low daily. Daily. And it's never happened to me before. So, you know, environments can definitely, when we're talking about perspective earlier, like, I get that completely. Like, you have an agreement with them. If something does pop up, you're like, well, I mean, what do you expect? I see them all the time.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing with me here. The first couple times I, you know, went through it, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And now I'll just send her a recording. It's like, can you hear this? Sometimes she hears it, sometimes she doesn't. But it's
and I feel like
it's weird how we just get used to that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like haunted locations. Like, I feel like Malvern Manor needs Josh. Ashmore Estates needs Robin. Axe House needs me. It's almost like a partnership between a person and the location. Like,
you guys have an understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying
almost like a symbiotic type of relationship.
Yeah.
Because also usually sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Also, usually, like, whenever you talk to someone who owns the location, like, how they got it is always kind of weird. Is a little off or something. It's not just like,
it's like the location
place, so I got one. It's always something different.
It's like the location chooses the person, and everybody I know that works the same kind of job I do. Everybody's very protective of that place. It's like same with me, you know. I just had some overnighters that were telling me what's haunting the place and how it's haunting the place, and I'm just like, pissed. I know what's going on here, and I'm telling you this is what's. Oh no, it's this. It's the ghost of so and so that's here, and because somebody told me, and it's like, I just gotta stop.
How dare people do that? How dare people?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Didn't Josh with the cemetery, like, didn't he say the same kind of thing happened to him when he started Kukta?
Oh, yeah.
It was the same thing with him with that cemetery being the keeper there.
Right. Yeah.
And fucking Robin lives in Gacy's movie theater, for Christ's sake. Like that.
Right. I know.
Have you heard about the Gacy stuff in the theater he's living in?
Yeah, so I did an event out there, and I ended up staying the night with him. And
at Ashmore,
passed out on. Yeah, and so I slept on the couch. I'm like, oh, this couch is so comfy, and I was rubbing it and burying my face in it. He's like, oh yeah, John Wayne Gacy sat on that couch. That was his lawyer's couch. And I was like, fuck. Maybe a heads up next time.
Did Robin get from Gacy's attorney? My God.
And I'm just like rubbing my face where Gacy's ass was. It's like, come on, Robin.
Yeah. Like, we don't have to talk about people's asses being on it. Like, it's an understanding. I'm putting my head here. We just don't bring it up. But when you get specific with it,
why Robin didn't say anything, because
he's probably like,
wait to tell you.
Yeah, he was just wait. He's like, he's gonna love this.
Oh my God,
Robin's great. He's such a great dude.
Yep.
Salt of the earth, kind of.
Oh yeah, do anything for anyone.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally.
He made me feel like I do absolutely nothing when I found out what his day looks like. Like, I was just going, all right, Robin, I'm bowing down, dude.
Yeah, like about every 5 minutes, Keith is just like, all right, so here's another thing that makes me feel worse about myself.
Well, I wake up in the morning and I usually just lay there for 2 hours, finally get my cup of coffee, finally get out of bed and out of my house around 1. Then I'll do expert tours till 4, checking the overnights, and I'm done by 5. And I'm like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I work so do it.
That sounds terrible. That sounds awful.
In between,
And-
I'm grilling some steaks or taking a bike ride, and
Dude,
yeah,
that's
a couple years.
awesome.
And Robin
I do
Terry has
nothing.
built a home for orphans in the amount of time it takes you to get out of bed and get your coffee.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
know. I know.
So the winter time, all I have to do is video night, and like we don't book February, March, just because you never know what the weather is going to be. And I'm on salary, so I just do nothing.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
I literally will find a video game and I'll just nerd out on that for like 2 months straight. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm getting paid right now to play this video game. Like 7th grade Johnny would think this Johnny is awesome. You know?
If only I had known back then. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Mom and Dad, you'll never make money playing video games. Haha. Yes, I am.
I'm making salary doing it. Suck on it.
And then my real job, I have to go talk about ghosts and monsters and aliens. So
Yeah.
everything you
It's-
said I
it's
wasn't
tough.
going to be able to do, I did.
Terrible shit.
But then after I beat a game, I can't even think about it for like a few months. Like I can't.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
I tried
Because
playing.
It's not like the
one
games
today.
when we were kids that we could do like,
Right.
I'm gonna beat this game tonight while my friend's spending the night. That
Yeah.
shit is out the
I
window.
know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's like this could take a good quarter, but it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
The rapid fire's coming.
So
Are
there's
you
gonna
ready?
be.
Do I just answer
All right.
these as fast as I can?
Well, it's not a question or anything. It's
Okay.
just it's a
Right.
topic, and
Well-
you've got 30. You know how they do on like the sports shows, like ESPN will have like here 90 seconds
Sports
to
or
talk
news
about.
will do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's
They'll
that
list
type of
off
thing.
topics and be like, you got 30 seconds on each one, and then we just move along kind of thing. That's what it is, basically.
Okay.
and they've been handpicked and catered.
Yes. Yes.
I will tell you that a certain someone had butt plug on theirs, and it was
Yes.
it was relevant.
It was relevant. It was hilarious.
It wasn't just like let's pick funny things like nipple hair. You know, it was
It was that there was
They're all
literally
relevant.
something in the background that looked like a butt plug.
Mhm.
Good times. Yep.
Okay. Here we go.
Roll it. Busch Light.
Oh, Busch Light is the greatest beer ever made. It's American beer. Anheuser-Busch, baby. And Villisca Blade. Everybody, you cannot live in Villisca and not drink Busch Light.
That's pretty much same as here too.
Yeah.
So, blue smoothies. That's what they call them here.
What do they call them?
Smoothies?
Blue
Smoothies?
smoothies is what people
Blue
call Busch
smoothies.
Light. All right, Mitch.
Mitch is so annoying. This dude just shows up on G Crew, thinks he's like the coolest thing on the. He always says inappropriate thing to female guests. Pretty sure he's a crackhead, cocaine habit, alcohol. He's like the Charlie Sheen of aliens, basically.
Winning?
Oh, that's accurate. Aztec death whistle.
Oh man, I don't even know how I came across it. And I ended up watching the Ghostbusters, and the new one, and they had an Aztec death whistle on there. But I don't know how I found it. I was just on Amazon one night and I'd seen it, and so I ordered it and I forgot about it. I came in the mail and I'm like, this thing is awesome.
That's
I love
I've
it.
got
awesome.
one too, and they are so rad. Have you like looked into like how
Yeah.
often they were used? And it's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. Dude.
Okay, Taddy's moon ring.
Caddy's moon ring. Yes, I am her personal advisor when it comes to that. And we were filming a project and she had this moon ring on. And it was a very interesting project. And I just remember, like, your mood ring's black. That means you're angry and, trying to get a rise out of her. And she's like, well, what color is it now? And I was like, it's blue. You're feeling romantic, Taddy.
It's inappropriate.
Taddy would be so cool. She's
the best.
Awesome.
She is absolutely the best.
I wasn't quick enough with playing rapid fire again.
Oh, that's right.
That was it. Here. There.
We totally forgot the ending.
You're the winner. You know the sad part, dude? All the music you hear is shit that I've been like, we need music for this. And I'll go make it and I'll send it to Lindsay. And
you
try
did
to make
that?
It like this. Yeah.
Dude,
Keith's
that's
done
awesome.
all of this stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
All of our music is Keith. Yep.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well,
And the rapid
done.
fire video. Yep. All that. That's Keith.
But Tinny was the first one to go through that, and he felt like he was in love with the video because that's the cat that's in that is my cat, and she's as close to being autistic as you can be as a cat, like legitimately. She was abandoned by her mom, and like me and my ex-wife raised her from 2 days old. Like she's just eccentric. Wow. We'll say that.
I love it.
And I got these random photos of her making these ridiculous faces, and it all fell into place.
And it just makes me happy that like it's going to be in my head the next week. It's very.
I'm sending you that file.
On making it, he'd send me clips of it to see what I thought and everything. And I'm like, dude, people are gonna freak out and love this. I'm like, this is like nostalgia, like up the ass, like from us growing up. Like,
like I just wanted to play like the air bass and just like it's funk. It's got that funk.
Well, I'm a bassist, so that's kind of like if you hear even like this is going in the background, it's just I have fun with it, but I'm emailing you that file.
So my life was
loop.
made on TikTok. I get a TikTok follow, Bootsy Collins.
Shut up.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
Like,
and I clicked on it.
It's him.
Yeah, with a little thing. Bootsy Collins follows me.
I was
TikTok.
like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Who is this?
Parliament Funkadelic. Bootsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The bass player that always has like the crazy glasses and.
I'd rather be with you. Ooh, yeah.
Johnny,
no, I'd rather be with you. Yeah. It's like, holy shit, it's Bootsy. We want Bootsy.
Johnny, man, thank you for hanging out with us today. Like it's
thank you.
Anytime.
I've enjoyed getting to talk to you, man. Like there's some similarities that make me happy that you exist, the type of person you are. So like
ditto.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, man. And if you ever want to come hang out again, you just tell us. Door's always open.
Yes, totally.
I had a blast. So
can I sleep on your couch? I'm moving in.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. No serial killers or their attorneys have sat on it.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My ex-wife has been on it, but that's not Gacy.
Perfect.